Something I thought that I imagine would be kind of fun to do is to picture yourself as a Lego person or the people that you know anyway, and celebrities too, and try to see who's who, like dress them up and see how they would look with their different clothes on. Sometimes you get a good idea how people dress, how they are as people, what they look like. Then you realize that you might be doing something kind of alleged, so to speak. That you just kind of bringing people to see how you are as a person, like by how you dress and stuff. So you might not be truly showing people how you are just by what you're wearing, but I don't want to be too, promiscuous. Try to just like completely debacle the entire scenario of how you should judge a book by their covers. But anyway, about how that's supposed to look is like I know I got screwed over because people just wanted to try to sit there and say like they did stuff that they didn't do. So I'm just not even gonna argue because an entire freaking nonchalant, passive aggressive, bad or not being, brought up type of circumstance is going to be initiated as soon as if anyone ever just decided to engage in that type of predicament. You really can't judge how things like that are supposed to work out because you don't really know how they should, except you just should hope that they work out, but you don't know if they will or not. The problem that I had wasn't really even a problem. It was just the fact that what I saw, I knew I wasn't into being quite the perception that I could actually just be ideal with. I didn't really know exactly how to bring that on, how to do anything with that. And skepticism is just mainly a huge part of my life these days. There's not really anything I could tell anybody about how things are supposed to look or not look or whatever. But when things don't happen the way I expect them to, I just get curious, not skeptical. I wonder why, because more often than not, my judgment is pretty good, so I would know that whatever I decide is probably going to be the right thing or how things should be. It's usually the right thing and how it should be, so I'm not really going to have too much of a difficulty trying to explain how that is. Now, with the invention process that I've started, I don't necessarily think that actually having to deal with like the normal difficulties of life are actually going to be too strenuous on somebody who's an inventor such as myself. So what I would think is the best way for me to be able to see how things are supposed to be, knowing that it's a new year and there's probably twice as many skeptics as there were before in the world since the new year, seeing as how nothing's really changing except politicians, people in government trying to assess like the like being a social elite like Donald Trump is himself is claiming that he's exempt from all things that life is dictating him to be held down to. That discussion is going to come to an abrupt halt, unfortunately, because as much as I do like Donald Trump, especially since he's a president, he doesn't get a lot of good media, so I'm not going to be able to talk on that subject for very long. What I would end up saying eventually is just, I wish I had more time to do things differently, but in a way that where they didn't need to be done somebody else's way. If you haven't noticed by now, it seems as if things need to be done a certain way for everyone, but I'm not doing things a certain way for anyone. I've got 10 more seconds to talk. I don't know exactly how I would explain all of this stuff to anybody, but not needing to is much better for me. So I gotta go.